Hello, good day everyone. Welcome once again to the complete Java beginner course. Now, we'll be looking at the basics of programming in this video. In this video, we'll be looking at variables and variables. From variables, we are going to be looking at data types and how we declare variables. As you can see, I have a class already named. Remember our previous video where we ran our first program, which is we printed a simple hello world statement. We defined a class that we called hello world, and then we also define the main method, that is the main entry point of the program. Now, what is a variable? A variable is much like a container for holding values. Without variables, we can't write programs. So these are the basics, the basic building blocks of programs. I'll just do a PSVM, which is the short keyword for a public static void main, which will be our entry point for the program. So IntelliJ should automatically complete this stuff for me. Yes, I have so many Vanguard process running on my laptop, so I'll just type it out myself. The public static void main, and also string the arguments, and okay, so right here we have our public static void main method, and this is the entry point of our program. Now, to declare a variable, I'll just include a comment right here to show you how it works. So at first, I'll say the data type. We specify the data type and the variable name, then a semicolon, or I'll do something like this: the data type, variable name, and equal to, and we initialize the variable with a value. Let me make this a Java.doc comment. So as you can see, we have data types, variable name, and we also have data type, variable name, and also value. So this very first part is known as a declaration statement, and the second one is known as a declaration statement and also an assignment statement. So it's more like initializing the variable at the very spot where you defined it. So what are data types? We have different data types in Java, and mostly there are two major data types. We have the primitive data types, and we also have objects, or put it that way. And how do we create primitive data types? I have an image that just gives us a description of how the primitive data types really looks like. So we have right here, we have the primitive data types. In Java, there are 8 different primitive data types. We have byte, short, int, long, float, double, character, which is the short form is char, and we also have boolean. For this very first 4, I specify the different values they can hold. For byte, it can hold a minimum value of a negative 108 and a maximum value of 127. So this column right here applies for the very first 4 integer values, the minimum and the maximum. Now for float and double are known as what was it called in mathematics? Real numbers. So these real numbers are numbers that has decimal values, that are decimal values. For instance, we have 89.8987 right here, and we also have 3.565. So these are values that can appear in float, and these are values that can appear in double primitive data types. Now we also have character. Our character alphabetical characters, special characters such as a semicolon, a period, a comma, and so on and so forth, and they are defined in single quotes. We also have boolean right here. Boolean can only have two different values, and this can be either true or false. There is also another type in Java, which is string. But string is a special type, and we'll be covering it in the next video. So let's jump back to our IntelliJ. So recall that we saw some of the data types, and yeah, let's start giving an example of this data type. So I will start by defining a variable of type int. I will call it first number, and like I stated earlier, we have the data type and we also have the variable name, and this is an example. This is data type int, and this is the variable name first number. Now for the second scenario, I can say int second number, and I'm giving it a value of 7. So let me correct this spelling properly here. Okay, we have int second number equals to 7. So you can see the difference. The difference right here is that for the very first number, I just declared the variable and I didn't give it a value. I didn't initialize it. And for the case of the second number, I initialized and give it a value of 7. So if I'm going to print out the value of first number, so I'll just use the short keyword for system.out.println, which is south, and press enter, and IntelliJ is automatically going to complete it for me. I do first number. You see, I'm going to have an error because I'm trying to print a value that have not been initialized. You can see variable first number might not have been initialized. So for you to make use of a variable in a program, you should have given it a value. You should have initialized it. But in the case of second number, I can print it out because I've initialized and given second number a value. I can also go on and say first number equals to 6. As you can see, I can then go ahead and print out the value of first number, and it won't throw me any error again. The reason is because I have given the variable first number a value. Now this is just one of the data types we've looked at. We'll be looking at a few more. Let me give an example of a byte. First byte equals to 9, and as you can see, we have created a variable of type byte. Now recall from the image that I pulled up earlier, the byte can hold each data type can hold values. Each primitive data type, can hold values between specified ranges, and the minimum value that a byte can hold is negative 127, and the maximum value it can hold is 127, and the minimum value is a negative 128. So if I try to go further and give it a value of 200, you can see I have an error, and it says I have to cast to byte, and this is known as typecasting, and we'll be looking at typecasting in the future. However, if I reduce and give it a value of 127, the compiler checks and see that this is a valid range for a variable of type byte, and it won't throw any error, it won't make any complaint. So this is for byte, and we can also declare variable of type short. Okay, short, I'll say first short, just giving it a name that is kind of synonymous to the data type, and I can give it a value of 1000. And yes, pretty much we can do anything with these different variables. Now, so far we've looked at integers. Let's take a look at real numbers, decimal values. Now, to define a decimal value, we have to specify the type, and we have two different primitive data types that can hold decimal values, and this is the float primitive data type and the double primitive data type, as we saw in the image previously. So to declare a variable of type float, recall we have to specify the data type, double, and give it a name. I'll call it first double, equals to, you can see 197.33, and I'll add my semicolon. Now I can print the value of first double by saying SOUT, short for system.out_print line, and I'll do my first double value is plus first double. As you can see, IntelliJ is auto completing it for me, just giving me ideas of the next input. So I'm going to run this program out. I'll comment this one at first, and then I'll run the program. We run something else. I'll run from here. Now the program runs successfully, finished building, and the value that was printed was my first double value is 197.33, just like we have it right here. Now we've seen how to declare variables of type double, but floats can also hold real values. But to declare a variable of type float, it's quite different from declaring a variable of type double. Let us take a look at how to declare variables of type float. So I'll enter, I'll say float first float number is equal to 198.33 and semicolon. As you can see, we have our compiler telling us that we require the variable of type float, sorry, value of type float, but we are having a value of type double. So to fix this error, all I just have to do is, before the semicolon, immediately after giving it the assigned value, I just have to include F. That's the character F. It can be in uppercase or it can be in lowercase form. So this is going to take the error away. So this is how to declare variables of type float. Now we've seen how to declare some few variables. You can go ahead and try it out. Declare variables of type long. And yeah, before I forget, we are going to declare just two more variables. That should be the character variable and the boolean variable. So I'll press enter. And let me just print out my first float number, saying my first float value is first float number, and this. So we can go on and say boolean is true equals to, remember that we can give a Boolean variable just either one of two values, which is either true or false. So I can say is true is equal to false, and I'll end with a semicolon, and I can print out the variable, the value of is true. Checking the value of is true, and I can see is true. Then one last variable is car. I'll say first alphabet, and that should be our letter A. And recall, to define a variable of type car, we can do something like this. We have to include in single quotes. So I'll include the single quote here, and I'll give it the value A and the semicolon. I can print this out also by saying the first letter in the English alphabet is first alphabet. And right now I will run the program, and all the print statements we've had so far are all going to execute. So you can see my first double value is 197.33, my first float value is 108.33. I'm checking the value of is true, and here I'm supposed to just include a delimiter here and space just to separate both of these. And the first letter in the English alphabet is A. So that brings us to the end of variables. And if there's anything you don't understand so far, you can just relate down in the comment section below, or you can also ask the question in the community group chat. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel and also give this video a thumbs up. Catch you in the next one.